in. Drop in a little bit. This thing's way too bright. Hold on a second. I gotta flip. I gotta flip on the down low. This light's just too bright. It makes me look like I'm in the sunshine. There you go. How's that? Is that better? I don't know. Maybe. It's hard to say. One of those swirly things, you know, those. You can get them in Winners now. You can get them in Kmart. You can get them in Walmart. Practically everywhere. These little round lights where you put your phone in the middle. Hope you can hear me. Check, check. I'm using this phone. Weird lighting. I look like I've been in the sun all day, which is not true, by the way. So, hi, everybody. We've been working hard. Hi, Kim. You're always right on there. Kim, can you hear me okay? We're using this microphone. Hi, John. Tor Porco. We hear you fine. Thank you. I'm using the big mic. Happy Thanksgiving to you and your family. Amy, thank you. Christopher, how you doing, man? Nice to have you here. I don't have my laptop with me. So I've got to be on. Yes, you can hear me. Thanks, Kim. We didn't come on last Friday. Mic is too low. Oh, okay. How's that? That's all the gain I can give the microphone. It's a directional mic, so let me. Guess what, John? What, Kim? Sorry, I just ate a burrito and I'm clearing my teeth. That's really attractive on a live feed. Hello, John James. How you doing, man? The lettering on my phone is way too small for me to get all your name. Bashirs? Christopher. Yeah, we didn't come on. We were just too. Yeah, I'm Canadian. Oh, it's coming way too fast. Oh, you're going to Toto in April. Good for you. We're talking to the Toto boys again, by the way, in the new year. David Paich is working on an album. I don't think that's major news, but to some of you, it might be news. David was the main songwriter in Toto in the beginning, and he's working on an album right now. Doing good? Hey, James. Off camera burp. There you go. Don't eat a burrito before you go. Hi, Tino. Happy Thanksgiving to everyone. I'm Canadian, and I think most of you know the bulk of our audience is not in Canada. Jeff Picaro, Joe. The bulk of our audience is not in Europe, it's in the United States. When we had the Rock History Book radio station, the streaming radio station, which was a great rock station, the bulk of 90% of the people who listened to the station were American. Let me see if I can put this down. Will this help? I look like a ghost. Touch what? Sorry, I'm not keeping up with the comments here. Let me get. Hey, folks. Hike with Mike. Do you have? Have I asked you this before, Mike? Do you have videos on your channel? If you do, well, plug it. Anyone who has a channel, they want a little plug. We can plug you tonight. We can do that easily. It's not showing that I'm over-modulating here, but 1, 2. Now I'm over-modulating a little bit. I have a Focusrite preamp thing for my Electro Voice microphone here, which is a microphone that a lot of radio stations use. The Electro Voice is used in big major markets. It's also used in small markets. They just use this microphone because it's worth around $300, and it's worth, as far as quality, a lot more than that. So, but yeah, it's a big Thanksgiving weekend. We have a look up John Beaudin, WKRP in Cincinnati. Oh, a Hike with Mike. Yeah, check out Hike with Mike. Lots of Zen, folks. There's a little plug for Hike with Mike. One of these days, what we're going to do is basically try to share the wealth a little bit. Oh, that went by too fast. Sorry. Can you post that again? That last one about your podcast. I want to promote anything you guys do. Hey, John. The turkeys could fly. I know, Chase. I know I'm on Rock. Chase says you're streaming on the wrong channel. I was going to stream on Rock History Book. Oh, the Up album, yeah. So I liked more, but Up was good. I have it over there in my CD column. Hold on. There you go. My CDs. This is a very, oops, sorry. John Lennon Cold Turkey. I remember that. I remember getting a lot of John Lennon stuff from Walls and Bridges the quasi greatest hits, sort of best of for John Lennon. I have that. I think I have it on CD. I'm not sure. I have it on LP. That's for sure. I haven't contacted the Eagles. The closest to Don Henley I've ever contacted was his wife. She reaches out now and then. She's actually made a contribution to the website, just a small, token contribution, but it was nice. Just so that people know that we're not bought by the Eagles or Don Henley. We wouldn't do that anyway. But she was just basically saying, I like what you do. She's a very nice lady. I'm friends with her on Facebook. She reached out to me maybe 2 years ago and said, "John, I like what you do. I like the fact that you're fair." It's not like she wants me to defend Don Henley no matter what he does. It's not about that, but it's got to be balanced, right? When you're doing this sort of thing. No. I don't have a lot of interviews coming up. It just loads up in December. I have Randy Bachman coming up, I think, on the 29th. Hold on. Oh, there you go. Now I got to put it back up. Randy Bachman and John Beaudin. You can see the reflection from the light. I was the program director of the radio station then. And he had just lost all that weight, but it was just on that wall. There's another one there with me and George Benson. Thank you. I think it's Gary. It's so small I can barely see it. The new house is good. We just painted the entire thing, and we'll take you through it before Christmas. We'll take you through every single room. This is a very small room, the size of usually a walk-in closet for a very big house. So it's not that big. Can I show you again? There, see? It's not a big room. Oops, sorry. I'm hooked onto a mic, that's why. Here's CDs, reel-to-reel, the clock up there for a station I used to run. It's a very small room, but it's actually perfect for what I need to do. I haven't put up the green screen yet. A lot of people don't like the green screen. They think it's too busy, but I haven't done that yet. We're just still, how it is when you move into a new house, you're so distracted by looking at new walls and new things. I'm a little crooked. We couldn't work for almost a month. No, Night Ranger, we came close to Night Ranger, and then I don't know what happened. Something happened. It just didn't, it fell through. A few. Yeah, the Beatles documentary. Yes, Get Back. I'm very excited. I just mentioned it on my radio show. I just mentioned it. The fact that I was going into Mariah Carey's Christmas music, and instead of saying something about Mariah Carey, which is okay, the audience understands. I says, all I want for Christmas is basically to see Get Back, which debuts tomorrow. Spin Doctors. We're moving as we get into, as we get a little older, and the 80s and 90s, especially the 90s, seemed like they're almost oldies. We will start doing more kind of 90s acts. And the Spin Doctors weren't a grunge band, but of course, that format was big in. I like bands like, isn't that weird when I'm trying to think of bands? I can't come up with anything. I have a light up there that made all my hair look kind of like I just dyed it. And these lights still do that in this room. I have no thoughts on it yet. I haven't heard it. Steve Perry's new album. Sorry, I should repeat the question. I haven't, and I'm trying to get an interview with Steve Perry. My God, if anyone knows who he is, I'm just trying to get the gatekeepers of Steve Perry. I've reached out before. I knew they read it. Our channel is certainly big enough to get Steve Perry. We're going to try to get Kurt and Roland from Tears for Fears. They're one of my favorite bands from that era, of that ilk, of that type of band. I like Elemental when Roland was by himself. Nothing against Kurt. I think it was great. 60 band Love. Oh yeah, of course. But Elemental really changed my life. I was at a point in my life where I'd just broken up with someone, and I was really digging deep. Everyone's been there where you're going, okay, I'm exercising harder than I ever have. I'm going to counseling. I'm reading all the books. doing all that stuff to make myself a better person. And that's what I was doing when Elemental came out. Break It Down Again. What a great song. God, what a great single. Not a huge hit in North America. But if anyone doesn't know it, look it up from Tears for Fears. Yeah, Elemental was, is it Sharon? Shannon? I can't read. It's too small. I need to put reading glasses on. Hike with Mike. Remember, go to his channel. Got a lot of good stuff on there. There's a lot of songs. Like Mike, you're probably the same way. I remember, of all things, I've got to read this too long. Yeah, I've got Ian Anderson coming up. I've got John Anderson. No, I don't have John Anderson coming up. I'm sure I'll have a chance to talk to him again because I know he got back to the promoter and said he really enjoyed the interview. Talking to me, he enjoyed it. And sometimes it's just personality. Women in Chains, great song. Great video. Remember the video? Women in Chains was a really amazing video. And we've all grown up with men like that who are abusive in that way because he was a boxer and he was abusive and he hated himself for doing it. And that typical thing where he'd be violent with her, Women in Chains video, and then he'd want her back and he felt bad. It's that cycle. Anyone who grew up in the 70s knows or has a parent or else has an uncle or saw it in a best friend's house where someone was abusive, either verbally or incredibly physically, either one. I have it. They sent it to me. Yeah. Yeah. It's strange with Ian Anderson at the end of the interview. I like Greta Van Fleet. I'm not crazy about their singer, but I like him. At the end of the interview, I was telling Ian Anderson what I was going to do with the promotion. He said, do whatever you want. Doesn't matter to me. I already did a tribute to Lyle Mays because I used to play a lot of Pat Metheny when I was into that NAC format, New Adult Contemporary, before smooth jazz. And then it turned into smooth jazz, and then I became like co-chair of this Canadian Smooth Jazz Awards, and I just felt like I was selling my soul. Not that I don't like smooth jazz, but I thought really only half of what I was playing was good. I don't know what that was. I'm sorry. I either don't know that artist or... Shannon's upstairs. Someone asked a while ago. Shannon's upstairs. She's just writing a story on artists that we have lost, tragically. Rick Emmett has about 6 more pieces to go. And if you want to have the entire Rick Emmett interview, go to Rock History Book. Just look up John Beaudin, Rock History Book, or Rock History Book, Rick Emmett, and the whole interview is right there if you want to hear though. I'm going to watch Get Back tomorrow. Yes. Very law. Yeah, very, very interested in it. And as the headlines were saying today, I was reading, the headlines were saying you might look differently at the breakup of the Beatles after watching this miniseries. And it's so clear. It's as if it was filmed. Peter Jackson did a great job. Obviously, they restored a lot of the video of the film, but it's like you're in the room with them. No, I haven't interviewed Steve Howe. I'd like to. I interviewed his son, but no, I haven't interviewed him. Oh, I'm not on Mountain Standard Time. I was on Mountain Standard Time. I'm now on Atlantic Time. I'm in Moncton, New Brunswick. I saw them live twice, Triumph. I saw them in St. Clair Rink, Miramichi, New Brunswick. Very small place. Skating rink, though. Oh, thank you. Interviews are great. I appreciate that. Here comes the sun. You want to play it at your funeral. Wow. Great song. I was more of a John and Paul First fan. Well, I don't really do shows. You mean tributes, things about them? The next Andy Curran piece, which is coming on this channel, I'm not sure if I saw the Moody Blues. Have I? You know why I say that? They were in my gray period. My ex-wife laughs at me. She says, I've said this before on this show. Once I said, oh, I wish I would have seen the Cars. And she said, John, we saw the Cars. I went, oh, yeah, duh. No, I didn't see. I don't think I've ever seen the Moody Blues live. I love the Tubes. The Completion Backwards Principle. I saw them opening up for Peter Gabriel and David Bowie outside at the Commonwealth Stadium in Edmonton. It was an amazing concert. You know, they were doing the Completion Backwards thing where they were wearing the suits, and during the first song, they just ripped the suits off. You know, that was a good period. A very poppy period, like not the white punks on dope period. Oh, Dwayne, you saw, yeah, in Edmonton. I've never seen Paul McCartney, never saw any Beatles, never interviewed one. Certainly have interviewed many people who have worked with the Beatles, but never, yeah. Yeah, I remember that. That White Punks on Dope was a great song. I hope I don't get demonetized because I said that. My hair looks so light in this. Yeah, I like Rick Beato. He's the king. He's the man. Rick Beato's the best about all this. Because even though I'm a musician and I'm a drummer, I'm nowhere near the musician Rick Beato is. And Rick does it well. I have so much respect for him. And Professor of Rock's another one that I really like. And I didn't see that. Sorry, went by too fast. I usually have my iPad. That's what I meant. iPad with me, and I can usually read this. You were the last person. Oh my, Dwayne. Wow. I can't say that I've seen the Stones. Sorry, it's going back too fast. By the way, check out my on Neil. Just look up my name, John Beaudin, WKRP Thanksgiving. John Beaudin, WKRP Thanksgiving. It's a long thing we did on the turkey drop episode from Thanksgiving. It always does well. Rick Beato is great. Oh, I didn't see that last part. Yeah, they're most of the guys who do what we do. Tony, I interviewed Bill Champlin for the first time. I think it's 4 times I've interviewed Bill. The first time was live on radio at this station. This is Randy Bachman, but he was with Carmen Griot. What's his name? Carmen, who plays with him. He was in Sons of Champlin with him, and he came in and he said bad things about the Beach Boys. Live on, I remember going, yeah, I don't forget what he says. I don't want to paraphrase, but I was thinking, that's refreshing. He just said it. Oh, James. Yeah. I've never seen McCartney. I wish. I mean, it's a question of, are you willing to pay? Yeah. Professor of Rock's really good. He does his homework, does a lot of work, promotes his channel really well, way more than I do. You saw Randy Bachman 8 times. By the way, it is Bachman. It's not Bachman. He doesn't mind when people say that. I'm hoping on the 29th I get a chance to talk to him. It'll be the 3rd interview with Randy Bachman. But I'm doing a series on people who mispronounce names. And it's going to be, I think, Disaster, are you kidding? I didn't see that. What? Oh, you're talking to someone else, I think. Yeah. What time is it here? It's 10:42 here, Atlantic time. It's such a different vibe because I've lived on both coasts. I've lived in Vancouver, and I've lived now in Moncton, but I also lived in Miramichi, Northeast New Brunswick. The Stones, yeah. I used to live close to BC Place in Vancouver, close enough that when the Stones played there, we opened our patio door, we could hear them play. April Wine's my favorite Canadian band, bar none. Just love April Wine. Miles Goodwin's a genius. Oh, I don't know. I don't know if I could say your name. You'd have to phonetically write it down, and then I might not be able to see it. You guys are talking about who? Whose voice? Let me put this down. Yeah, April Wine, man. They're my band. They always have been. From as far back as I can remember listening to music, April Wine was my favorite band. Like, and no one's close. And people say, what? But no one's close. Hike with Mike. Hi, David. There's just something about Miles Goodwin. And he's the most underrated genius in Canadian music history. I mean, considering what and Jerry Mercer, their drummer, I had a chance to meet him and interview him. Jim Clench, their not original bass player, their second bass player. He's just phenomenal. So that's way too much. I can't read that. Sorry, that was way too much words. I can't. It's gone, and it's on. I'm reading off my phone. It's just too small. John Beaudin can't read. Yeah, I can read. But that was just two messages. Just between you and me. Yeah, big hit in the U.S. Hike with Mike. And that doesn't really represent the band per se, but it does in some ways because they were a big ballads band for a while. Hey, Ruben. Ruben Kincaid. Thank you. David. I've never had a chance, even when I was in the NAC format. Brian Green was an awful too. Yeah, awesome rather. Yeah, Brian Ruben, you're right. Brian Greenway is a great guy. He's the one who gave me tickets to the last show I went to see April 1. At the end of the interview, I think he was the last guy I interviewed. Hey, he said, "Hey man, do you want some tickets?" Hey Ruben, I said yes, please, and that was the 7th or 8th time, the more than anybody else. Hey John, oh that's long. Wishing, oh it just went by too fast. Honeymoon Suite, yeah. I interviewed Gary from the band, and Gary sent me tickets for my brother at a rock and roll festival in Miramichi, Northeast New Brunswick, where I'm from. I'm not there now. I'm in Moncton, which is further down. I'm in southeastern New Brunswick. That's where we are now. That went by too fast. I can't read that. You have to understand there's a light behind me, and it makes it hard. Thank you. I thought Krista Berg would do better. It didn't, but I know that he's bigger in Canada than he is in the U.S. And the fans who sort of listen to this channel would probably not be the biggest fans of Lady in Red. The fans that listen to this channel, if they know Krista Berg, would like, the earlier stuff. The Crusade. Oh, what? Oh, sorry, that went by too fast. Oh, thanks, Darren. Yeah, it's just, we've got wrap around. This is just basic wrap that a lot of radio stations use. Using a basic mic that a lot of radio stations use. Helix is from Canada, yes. I wasn't the biggest fan of them, but I always appreciated them, Not having them as my number one band has nothing to do with them. It's just like, it's musical taste. Last album they released maybe a year ago. How many shows, Bob? I don't know. Hundreds. For sure. A lot in the 80s. And then I started slowing down in the 90s where I was just sort of into my own stuff, trying to find myself after breakups and, man. Oh, cool. Helix from Kitchener, thank you. Before you what? Conked out? Ruben, before you conked out? What's that mean? Invisible Touch by Genesis is a good album. Was never a fan of it. It was their biggest selling album. And a lot of people say, what? No, they get mixed up with Selling England by the Pound, thinking that it's not their biggest album. It was just their most critically acclaimed album. Right? And Supper's Ready would be like, one of the most critically acclaimed songs. Big Sugar, if I had the chance, yeah, they're not on my A-list or anything like that. But I've interviewed a lot of people who are not on my A-list, and I'd say, wow, that was fun. Oh, Ruben, I hear you. I haven't gone to a show, well, because of COVID. My wife, Shannon, a lot of you know Shannon, she's come on with me. She has an autoimmune disease, so she has to be very careful. Yeah, check out Helix. They're very much, we're a rock and roll band. They're just, biggest selling albums aren't necessarily the best. You said it. Yeah, Kim Mitchell talked about Gordy. Frank Marino, Dwayne, have you been the one asking me about Frank Marino all the time? That's okay, I don't mind. Recently, maybe a year ago, he was saying the music industry is basically dead. Excuse me. Foxtrot's a great album. Yeah, didn't he? It was a bus accident, wasn't it, or a van accident that he passed away in? Yeah. Backing tracks, not a big fan, but if they use backing tracks as opposed to, oh, good afternoon, JD from Australia. Hey, when I interviewed the guys, well, only Graham Goebel's in Australia. B. Birtles lives in Nashville. So when I interviewed Graham, I interviewed Graham twice. Man, I've got to put the second interview up. I just realized that. Alex Lifeson's music. I should talk to Andy Curran about. I just realized I put Andy Curran's interview on the Rock History Canada. Well, Quebec artists are really strange because you can have Sam Roberts is an exception to the rule. There are a lot of Quebec artists that penetrated through Quebec, but a lot of Francophone artists can basically make a living just selling in Quebec. It's an amazing thing with Quebec. Just an amazing. By the way, I didn't see that comment about Glenn Shurick, but I did interview Glenn Shurick. Andy Curran, Ruben, is just probably one of the coolest dudes you'll ever meet in your life. And it was Andy Curran who sent Chase, my son, Neil Peart concert use sticks, and I'm pretty sure the story goes, Neil saw Chase play drums. The next clip is about Andy talking about the Rush and or Canadian people around Neil Peart not letting the cat out of the bag that he was sick. That's the next video that's coming out. I'm not sure what you mean by did the tribute. We did a tribute to him. Everyone did a tribute. It was just a shocking thing because a lot of us didn't know he was sick. Oh, you opened for Coney Hatch. Oh, really? Yeah. They were a cool band, but I never got them at the time. And then interviewing Andy, and then when Andy reached out to me quite a few years ago to talk about Chase and Chase's drumming, my son, I said, oh, Coney Hatch, yeah. And I knew the songs that were played on the radio, and I went back and listened to them. And I like Andy's stuff, too. That when we talk about this during the interview, his talking, singing style, which he still uses now and then, but he also, it's just a thing that he felt comfortable. That kind of talking, singing that some artists do. Again, because it just feels right. Oh, I didn't know about the El Macombo Neil tribute. Oh, a Christmas songs comment went by too fast. Sorry. Missed it. I kept thinking that was the corner right here. The corner is way over there. No, Michelle Pagliaro, it came up during the Greg Godovitz interview because he's friends with Greg Godovitz. I should reach out. Greg didn't interview him, though, because I was the one that basically convinced Greg Godovitz to do a YouTube channel. I kept saying, Greg, you got to do this, and he didn't realize it was going to take so much work, I think. I did not read, you mean Dan Peek's autobiography, or did America put one out? I read a part of Dan Peek's because I interviewed Dan way back when. I like Marillion, didn't love them, liked them, another band that I appreciated. Andy Scott was a great interview. Too many people were talking about his hair, and we'd erase all those interviews because we found that that's not important. We don't erase a lot of. Yeah, the fish. Fish is an interesting cat. He does a lot of videos on Facebook. I don't know if he still does them, but he was doing them. Oh, America, like Dan and Dewey and Dan. Yeah. Jerry Beckley and Dewey Bunnell. Yeah, there's a picture. I don't have it up yet. I have a picture with them backstage. I had never interviewed Dewey, but I certainly met him. Nice guy. Very, very understated, both of them. But then it was backstage, I think before the show. Yeah, introduced them. Yeah, great band live. They were freaking amazing. Anyway, I don't want to be on here too late because it is almost 11. 7 more minutes. Almost, and my wife's probably wondering where I am. Shannon. A lot of you know Shannon. You're talking about Dan Peek. He played, he was a great guitarist, 6-string guitarist. No, I wasn't near the mudslides, but there's two main highways connecting the British Columbia. He's talking about the landslides. There's two major highways, Coquihalla being one of them, and it was number 5. I forget. I haven't been on it in a while. Going from the interior of British Columbia into Vancouver, and I've traveled those highways. I'd like to say together hundreds of times, because I've dated in the early '90s. I dated someone from the interior. And then I ended up marrying Shannon, who's from a little bit above that. So those highways I frequented so many times. So when they'd show pieces of the highway broken, I'd go, oh my God, I've been on that highway so many times. So it's really strange. And the devastation is kooky, the mudslides we're talking about in British Columbia. And I lived in BC from 89 to 2000. 2002. That's right. So I have not interviewed Burton Cummings, though I've tried many times. I'm interviewing Randy Bachman, I hope, tentatively the 29th for the third time. So I'll ask him about Burton. I got to get Burton because I'm doing a big thing on the history of Canadian music next year. I think it's Randy. I don't think I have an interview before then. It's a weird time of the year because a lot of people the people of this ilk of our channel don't release a lot of Christmas music. Steve Perry has, but I don't think we'll get Steve Perry. No, ARW's basically, that's finished now. And Reuben Kincaid, Blue Rodeo. I've interviewed Greg Keeler and Cuddy, what's his name? Jim Cuddy. Yeah, I interviewed both of them. I just actually found it in this computer here. So they were separate at the time because they were releasing solo albums. Yeah, Randy Bachman and Burton Cummings are going to do some stuff together again. Moose Jaw. I used to have a show aired in Moose Jaw. Cross Canada Report. It was aired across the country. It was a fairly big show between 85 and 89. But then it was just too much work for me. Happy Thanksgiving to everyone in the U.S. And remember, check out my Thanksgiving. Just look up Nail Sheet, just Nail Sheet, 2 words if you want, or 1. WKRP, John Beaudin, you'll find it. A turkey drop, you'll find it. This is a long piece I did on it. Yeah, Greg and Jim are just Canadian treasures. JD on Friday. We should be back on Friday. Shannon and I will come on. Why don't Danny Bonaducci? Why? Well, he's not really a musician, so why? Did you ever interview him? I used to love the Partridge Family. I used to love Susan Day. Susan Day. Friday, okay, yeah. Friday we're going to be on. We didn't do it last week. I'm not sure why. I think we were too busy. Something happened. I forget. That's a joke. Sorry. Okay. Oh, yeah, that's right. Did he play real bass? Yeah. Thoughts on the current tour of Genesis? If you want to check them out, go see them. Last chance. It's very expensive. I would never go. The last time I had a chance to see anybody there, with Daryl Sturmer, the touring guitarist for Phil Collins and Genesis, offered me tickets to see Phil in, I think it was Toronto, but I didn't have time to even fly out there. He said, "You want tickets tonight?" I'm going, "You do know where I am, right? I'm in Calgary." I was then. There's no way I could get to Toronto in time. So, good night, folks. See you, Adam. Not a lot upcoming. Mostly a lot of specials on the other channel. Interviews come. Someone will call me up and say, "You want to do an interview a couple of days with this person?" I'll go, "Yeah, sure." It always happens in December. You get a whole bunch of quickie interviews. We're going to go back to the Tower of Power series. We've never finished that. We just got bombarded by interviews back then. So Ray Williams, who interviews Elton John, to Bernie Taupin. We've still got some in that series. We've got so much stuff that Klaatu, the whole Klaatu series we're doing. We never even put that up yet. The band that people thought were the Beatles. Not a lot of people are promoting Christmas stuff. The bands that we cover don't do a lot of Christmas stuff. You know what I mean? Yeah, I'd heard that. The Castles. Yeah. Yeah. What time is it? We got 2 more minutes. Oh no, Elton John will. I think he's in pretty good shape. You know, I hope he does. I'd love to meet him someday. I don't think that'll ever happen, but love to meet Elton John, Billy Joel, Paul McCartney, Ringo Starr. You know, there's a whole list of people. I wanted to meet Bradley Delp really bad of Boston, but we lost him. That was a sad thing. That was just excruciatingly painful. I mean, John Lennon was the ultimate death where I just could not believe it, but worst concert? Oh, I don't know. What's your worst concert? I'm trying to think of a worst concert. I don't know. Yeah, Billy Joel's amazing. Like just crazy, crazy good. Iggy Pop was the best performer I ever saw. I've said this many times on live feeds, but he was definitely the best performer I've ever seen live. He opened up for the Pretenders, and it was just phenomenal. I was in the second row. Went with my friend Steve and I went with the reporters, the critics for each paper. He went with one critic, I went with the other critic. We were just all friends. We weren't dating. And they asked us to come, and I went, oh my God, sure, Iggy Pop, see Iggy Pop live? Yeah. Okay, folks, 11 p.m. here. And I know the Reuben Kincaid from the Partridge Family. Oh, that's what you mean, yeah. Yeah. I love Kayak. I interviewed Ton Scherpenzeel. Yeah, love Kayak. They're a great band from Holland. Yeah, Max Werner, their original lead singer, was amazing. So Crosby, Stills, and Nash, I tried. Did not get them. Stephen Stills. Graham Nash just released that photo book, so I was trying to get him. But I didn't even know I was ill. Yeah. Anyway, guys, I got to go. Chase, I got to go check on Chase. He's working on the... yeah, David Crosby's a real character. Marcus Eaton, who was his guitarist for a while, told me some interesting things about touring with him. He said he's a handful, but he's an amazing guy. So, but I got to go, guys. Good night. Thanks, Darren. Thanks, everybody. Have a good night.